Welcome. I'm Halcyon. This is Hug Nation. And today the topic is the dark gifts of depression. Now, I generally avoid using the D word. I will say that I'm experiencing a funk or I'm having a down period. I really don't like to put on the word depression as a label because it feels so permanent. It feels more like a brand than a smudge that you can wipe off. So I like to visualize things as funks that I go through. But I suffered and battled depression for a long time. I was medicated for over 10 years for anxiety and depression, and finally got off meds about 5 years ago. And recently, I found myself slipping into a dark place. And there was a number of things that happened in my life that contributed to this, like, actual things, changes, losing a job, having a shift in my friendship dynamics. Many, if not all, of my old childhood friends now have children. And so the experience of having friends call you up and invite you out has disappeared for me. And now I get to go visit these wonderful people and spend time with their wonderful children, which is wonderful. But as a childless man in his mid-40s, I'm still working through how to be that without the same type of friends and support network. And my body is getting older. I'm having injuries. I can't exercise in the same way. There's just a lot of things that I'm still trying to kind of make sense of. And when I take a step back, I can look and go, what an a-hole you are. Everything that you just listed is a problem that most people would love to have. Oh, your friends don't have as much time for you anymore? You have awesome friends. Oh, you don't have a job right now, and you can afford to just live. Oh, you've got a shoulder owie, and yet you can walk the beach anytime you want. And I can spend time with my parents as much as I want. I am living in a gift right now. So why does it feel so dark? And about the turn of the year, I was noticing that I was experiencing a lot of the physical sensations and the patterns of behavior that I recognize as being more than just down or more than just a funk. I was in bed a lot. I was really struggling to entertain any sort of story in my head that didn't involve me being a loser or squandering my time and so I went to go see a doctor. And among other things, did ask for medication again. And that's something that in and of itself, that actually knocked me back into a dark place. Because to feel like I had won this battle, and in fact, part of the reason that I feel like I have the right to share my journey and share the wisdom that I've learned is because I succeeded and I achieved happiness. And then to not have that made it feel that much worse. And there's this huge list of things that I knew that I could do or I should do that would make me feel better. A lot of the things on my list that make me feel good are things like writing, things like helping people. And what are the things that I like to write about? Gratitude, positivity, happiness. And one of my darkest fears is that of being a fraud. And as I sit in doubt, there's no way I can write about being happy. It feels so wrong. I feel like such a fraud. And so here's this thing that I know will make me happier. I can't do it. It's like this catch-22. Hey, write about being happy. But I can't write about happy because I'm not happy. And there's more. There's this huge list of things that I know that I should do. Go to yoga classes, meditate more, go out and spend more time with friends. And the less I did those things, the more disappointed in myself I was. And even as I know that this is the pattern of depression, I still was angry at myself. And what made it exponentially worse is that my dream, what I have told people, my purpose in life, I feel in my joy when I am speaking, writing, teaching about gratitude and joy and self-expression and self-love. And so in this place of feeling like I've lost that gift, I've lost that achievement, my whole concept of what my purpose in life and what my dreams could be, I'm like, I can't do that. I am no longer qualified. If someone came to me and said, hey, could you give me some coaching on how to be happy? I'd be like, no. I could tell you things that I know, but I would feel such a fraud because I am not doing those things. And I know, I see people out there and I know coaches that struggle with things and they find a way to do their job as well. But I don't know if I can do that. And so I'll be honest, the last few months, I have watched a lot of Netflix. I've spent a lot of time in bed. I've eaten a lot of pints of ice cream. I'm not really proud of myself. And even as I share this publicly, I have this like dread feeling like, dude, if you ever, like, you can't, this dream you had of like you've done all this work, you got off medication, you had started, people are listening to you, you have this following that's starting to grow, people are starting to respect you, and now you're gonna like throw it away by admitting that you fucking suck. You can't pull it together. And so yesterday I remembered that I have a private blog. I have a blog on WordPress that whenever somebody sends me a particularly moving email saying thank you or you affected me in some way, I will copy the email and paste it in this private blog as a place that I can go to when times are dark and when I doubt myself. And so after months and months of this darkness, I finally remembered that I had this blog. And so I went and I started looking through it yesterday. There was all these stories from people. And almost the most powerful ones all started with, I'm going through this dark time. And your videos help me see the light or get towards the light. Or lift up a little bit. And I had this awareness that this non-perfection of mine may be my gift. The fact that I have struggled and continue to struggle with this gives me a vantage point to communicate about things that people struggle with. I know that I personally have a difficult time listening to someone who has not gone through the struggle that they're teaching about. When I see a 24-year-old, fitness guru talking about how to stay fit, I'm like, dude, no kidding, you're 24. Give me these tips when you're 40. Or when I see like a beautiful model saying, just gotta love yourself. I'm like, it's not hard for you. And I saw a great video this week by Prince EA about depression. And the message was so beautiful. But there was a part of me that was like, it would mean a lot more to me if you told me that you have been depressed instead of telling me a lesson that I should learn. That isn't to say that the lesson isn't valid. It isn't to say that the 24-year-old fitness instructor doesn't have incredible information to tell me. But I like to have a teacher that can identify with my struggles. And so for me to be a teacher like that, it means I have to have struggles. And so I started to realize that, I need to accept that I'm struggling. I need to love these challenges. I need to be grateful for this depression. Because this is the experience that I need. This experience, this depression, is not the obstacle that makes people not trust me. This experience is the life experience that makes me worthy of listening to. And it was crazy that almost immediately after having that thought, and I was writing, I said, Esther saying, I need to be grateful for this depression. Like, all of a sudden, like my dark fever broke and I felt differently. And I started to think about some things that I wanted to do in the future, which I haven't felt for months. And I started to think about plans that I needed to make, people that I should reach out to. I woke up this morning and I booked a yoga class this afternoon, and I booked time with a coach, a life coach, this week. Now, am I out of the darkness? I don't know. I hope so. But whatever comes, I need to be grateful for that. The struggle in the gym is what makes the muscles stronger. The struggle in the mind is what makes the mind stronger, the spirit stronger. So, I feel hope. And if you are having darkness and continued darkness, I hope that you find a way to love it without letting it define you, but also not hating it so much that hate pulls you down deeper. Because that's the insidiousness of depression, is that you start to hate yourself for feeling that way. And it's really hard to get out of that. So, I love that I feel this way. That's the dark gift of depression. A challenge worthy of a spiritual warrior, so that should I make it through this, I will have tales to tell. I will have lore to share with the villagers. I will have a life worth speaking about and sharing. So, thank you for letting me share that. I love you.